All right, everybody, here we go. Hopefully you had a good Memorial Day weekend, and I'm hoping that you were able to enjoy some good times, right? I know I had some good times. We were able to social distance at my mother-in-law's at Lake Pine in Medford, which was phenomenal. Kids got a chance to fish, go on the paddle boat, and have a good time. So hopefully you guys are able to have the same type of experience for yourselves, meaning doing something that was enjoyable for the weekend. So with that being said, we did some haiku poetry. We're going to do some other things for Japan. And so how can you do Japan without talking about origami, right? So, which actually the term itself means folding paper. It did initially come from China, and it was something that's done by the very wealthy because something was very expensive in that time period, so you could only do it if you were wealthy. So people gave gifts of their origami creations. So it's evolved, origami has, over the years. So it's actually something that's used by NASA. They use it to help try and figure out ways to condense or make smaller or fit into small places different things that they want to expand once they get out into space. So it's pretty intriguing how much origami has come as far as its usage is concerned. So if you're lucky enough and fortunate enough to have origami paper, like I do, right? So you can use that. If you do not, you can still do it, again, with just a plain piece of paper. So you can use a piece of line paper, which I'm going to use, or you can use a piece of computer paper. Now, if you'll notice, origami paper is a square, right? So it should be in the shape of a square. So paper, not in the shape of a square. So if you want to measure it and do all that, you certainly can. So, that's a possibility for you to do, or you can measure it and cut if you want to, as long as you have a handy dandy pair of scissors, right? You should be able to just cut your standard piece of paper into a 8.5 by 8.5 and do it that way. Or what I would suggest is getting rid of the whole side if you have whole side paper, right? So I'm just gonna go down the line here, get rid of the whole side on this, and then even if you don't have scissors, you can tear it, right? You can fold and tear. So what I'm basically going to show you how to do is fold your rectangular piece of paper into a square. So you take a corner, right, and you're going to fold that corner, and you're going to take the edge of that piece of paper over, and it's going to leave you, right? It's going to leave you, actually, I think right now, nope. Well, what you're going to do is fold your piece of paper, all right? You're going to take and fold the bottom portion up into a triangle shape. I'm going to show you that in a second here, right? It's okay that you've put a crease in it, right? So look, ta-da. This piece right here with the crease in it, it's actually going to be your square. And what you do is cut this piece right here off, right? So one of the big keys here for origami is trying to make sure that you have very tight and very good creases in your folding. All right, so a little odd how that occurred there for a second, but all right, so I've already got one fold here, and I'm going to give you guys directions. You can either print them out if you'd like to, like I did, or just follow them right off of, the copy that I leave on Google Classroom, right? So here they are. So I'm going to give you a couple tips along the way that you don't find on here, just little things that are easy to help you out in the process. So, all right. What they want you to do is fold it in half 4 different ways. So you kind of did that once already when you did this initial fold. So you're going to do another fold here, right? So I went from this one, right, folded it diagonally, and again, the tight creases here, okay? The tighter your creases, the better, right? You want your tight creases here when you're doing your folds, okay? That's important, all right? So make sure that good tight creases here on your folds, all right? So that's 2 folds. Then I'm going to fold in half this way. All right? You see that? Fold it in half this way. And again, you'll see lines in the paper, so to speak, right? Or the creases in the paper. So I have one last one to do, and that's folding this way. So I'm going to fold this way. And then we are good to go. All right? Get your 4 creases in there. Do a good job. All right? Again, make sure your creases are tight. I like to do it right here like this, if you'll see, right? Use your fingernail on the crease or your thumbnail on the crease to make it really tight. All right? So, there you go. All right? Bang. So it kind of looks like this when you rest it down, right? Crease side down. Kind of looks like it's a little bit of a tent look there. All right? So there we go. All right, so that's your first few directions. Now, what you want to do is fold it along all 4 creases at the same time. So you're going to go from your big square into one smaller square, right? So I think the easiest way to do this, right, I'm going to make a little adjustment here so you can watch how I do this, is to put it right on the ground here and then fold it all in, right? And then fold the top portion down. Now, obviously, I've done this a few times, so maybe this looks super easy, right? But again, for me, the key is you find one, think of it as a square here, a square here, a square here, a square here, right? So I'm going to put one of the squares on my tabletop or wherever you're doing it, okay? And then I'm going to fold everything in to get myself to here, right? So again, I want you to see what it kind of looks like here. So I'm going to fold. I like to start with the corners in, right? And then fold the top down on top of it, all right? So here you go. Okay. And what you have is a smaller square. Now, you have a closed end. See, that's closed. Okay. Closed end. Open end. Here's your open end. Okay. The open end. Right? It's always important to make sure you remember that. Okay. So, what you're going to do is they call it either an ice cream cone shape or a kite shape, right? But what you're going to do is fold the open end side, right? So you're going to fold it in half though, right? So again, look, it's flat, closed end, this is going to be the top portion, open end is going to be the bottom portion. So if you are looking at the directions, right, this is how you want it. Closed end up top for number 6, okay? And then what you will do for number 6 is take half of it, fold half of it, again, to make your kite shape, all right? So I went from this right here, closed end, open end, folded this over, right? So there's still this unfolded half behind it. And then you do the same thing with the other side, all right? Now, my paper's a little off because I'm not the best cutter in the world with scissors, so, all right? But nonetheless, here we are. So you have your basic sort of kite shape here, right? Or ice cream cone shape, they like to say. And then here's the portion behind, okay? So that's what you do, okay? Now you're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So flip it over, you still got the square here. So again, fold it halfway, right? Your edge to here. And you should be able to tell because it kind of lines up, right? See how it lines up exactly the same? This one's not there yet because it's still in front, right? There we go. All right, so here you go. Here's your kite shape or ice cream cone shape, all right? Or snow cone shape, whatever, right? So make it work. Here you go, all right? So you do it on the other side. Now, you undo the folds. Bing, bing, right? Open, open, all right? So, one thing you want to do before you do that, and it doesn't have this in the directions, but I'm going to tell you to do it, and that is to, see the top portion of your ice cream cone here? Fold it over, all right? You'll witness that. Fold it over, okay? So I folded it over. And then I'm gonna bring it back, and I'm gonna fold it back the other way, right? So I went back, right? Folded it this way, and folded it this way, okay? Just something you wanna do. It's gonna be beneficial for you later on, right? Like right now. Because this is the part where I say you make the boat, right? So this is number 9. Okay, again, go back to putting it flat, right? On whatever surface you're working on, put it flat, okay? So hold it down, pull the very top piece of paper, okay? Just the very top piece of paper. And what you're going to do here, all right, is make what I refer to as the little boat, okay? So you're gonna have to mess with these curves a little bit here, right, and creases to try and make sure you've got exactly what you want here, okay? So if your creases are a little off, then it's going to be a little off here, okay? But you can manipulate a little bit if you have to. So this is what it should look like. All right, so I call it the little boat. Look at that, right? Make kind of the boat shape. So it goes from here, and the open end is what you do. So you pull the open end, right? And then slide these into the middle, to the center, and here you go. Right? What are you gonna do? You're gonna flip it over, do the same thing, right? Same spot. Hopefully this camera angle works for you as well. So here, taking the top sheet again, right? And that's where this crease comes into play. So your crease comes down. Now you're gonna have to manipulate your creases again here to make, again, what I refer to as boat shape. So, right? And here we go. All right. So again, My paper's a little bit not perfectly square, but it's all right. It'll still work, right? So, just like everything else in life, this isn't perfect, all right? So, we'll get as close as we can, right? So, here we go. So, this is where you should be with number 10. Okay, this is number 10. All right, so now, I always refer to this as having the legs. Here are the legs, right? So your legs can run. This one, not that way. This is the closed portion, right? This is the closed portion. There's no legs that can run. Closed portion, right? So that's what we have. Closed portion, legs that run, right? So that's step 10. So step 11, all right? We fold again. All right, so, and this is what's going to make it even skinnier than it was before. All right, so we're going to fold one more time here. All right, and this is the portion. We're going to do it on each side like we did before. All right, we're going to do each side and then flip it over. Okay, and again, I'm just double checking here to see that I the tail and the wings portion, right? So the top flaps are the wings and the bottom, right, are the neck and tail. So the legs, I call them, are neck and tail. Here are your wings, right? So neck and tail or legs are going to get thinner. You're going to bring the crease in again, okay? So you bring the outside crease in. So you see this outside crease here? This one here, this line is what you're going to put on the center portion. And you're going to do it to each side. So again, another case of repeating steps on each side, okay? So again, see how it's gotten narrower? Do the same thing on the other side. Flip, narrower. All right, so here we go, narrower. There we go, all right, and still this is our for the leg side, all right? So there you go, all right? Now, they call this turning the page, or this is step, and again, I just got to check to see which step numbers these are here, right? Step 13. So what they want you to do here is they call it turning the page. So, right, see this half? You're going to turn the page, and then you're going to do the same thing on this side and turn the page. And that's going to turn it to look like this, okay? So you went from this, okay, and then you're going to do what they call turning the page. And unfortunately, when I folded it back, I lost a little crease there, right? So this is what you had, right, at step 12, and then this is what you do to get to step 13, okay? Fold this here, right, and then you do one of the ones in the back, and you get to this, right? So this is what it should look like now, right? So then you're going to be folding up here, okay? All right, folding up here, and what you just folded up, one is going to be the head and one is going to be the neck, right? Or sorry, head and neck, and the other one is going to be the tail. Now, you can pick. It doesn't really matter, right? You can make one the head and one the tail. If you don't like the shape you make for one of them, you can make that one the tail or the head or whatever you want to do. So they typically tell you, like, once you get to here, like, make some sort of fold in this, right? I'm gonna make this one my tail because it's a little thicker. So I'm gonna go like here, do a little bend here, and you can do another little bend here if you want to. You don't have to, you can do one bend, right? And then usually the head a little smaller, a little less of a bend in the head, right? So there you go. Right? So this is kind of what it's going to look like. Now you're going to unfold here, right? Unfold and take your wings now and pull them out, right? So unfortunately, while I did that pull, I bent my tail, and my tail doesn't look like what it initially looked like. So I'm gonna reshape my tail here a little bit. Okay, so there's my tail, here's my head. So you pull the wings apart a little bit, and you get a little space between the head and the tail, right? So this is your end product. Now, there's a little secret here that I like to do, right? You don't have to do this, it's on you, it's what you think, right? And I know kind of I've cut my head off a little bit here when I've done this, but I wanted you to see what I was doing. The bottom of the crane, okay? There's a little hole. So what you do is you puff a little air, blow a little air into the hole. And it blows out the body of your crane, right? So now my crane's body is a little bit more significant, right? If you can see that now. And here's my origami crane, right? Ta-da! Presto, right? Not my best work, but considering the fact that I was using a simple piece of paper, cut it up a little bit, right? So, took a little bit more time. You know, didn't want to make this video too long and too drawn out. Try to be as descriptive as I possibly could be with this. I'm sure there are going to be some of you that still might have questions. And you can always Google another way to show you how to do it. And maybe somebody else can show you a different way that works best for you. So the manner that I do it and I show it isn't always the one that works best for every person. So you just kind of have to give it a whirl and see how it goes, right? But take your time. This is easy enough to do, I think. One really cool thing about the crane in Japanese culture is that it's seen as a sign of good luck. So my father has actually given me cranes, origami cranes, for when our kids were born, and when my wife and I got married. And if you do 1,000 of them, it's supposed to bring you personal good luck and good fortune. So something to consider. Get a little extra time on your hands. You know, maybe you tell yourself that you'll make so many origami cranes a day, and maybe you can get yourself to 1,000 cranes at some point. So in the span of doing this for 20 years, I have gone over 1,000 cranes and making them in all my classes and everything else. So I don't possess all of them, but it's been a fun experience. So, all right, origami. If you want to do more, you can do more. There are obviously a ton of different things you can look at that are out there, and you know, have fun with it. Whatever you want to do. So frogs, another cool option. You can make them to jump. But I always figure the crane is the most iconic sort of origami figure that you can create. So one year I made one of Yoda. So, you know, I don't have that anymore. I probably should sit down and do it again, but it took me like 4.5, 5 hours to pull that one off. So it was an incredible number of folds and increases and redos. So, you know, at some point, maybe I'll give that one a whirl again. So, but Origami Crane, here you go. All right, it means good luck. Last but not least, again, this is a t-shirt of my daughter when she's a little bit younger for that my wife had made for me. So she's got a super sassy face on here. And yeah, so Hope you guys had a great weekend. The stretch run is in sight. Again, some things probably aren't quite what you envisioned for the remaining months of your senior year, but let's try and make the best of every moment. So, like I said before, spent a lot of quality time with my family, and I've enjoyed that, and it's been good for me. And I've learned a lot from this experience, from my kids, from my wife, about being a dad, about being a husband, and about being a person. So maybe you guys have gotten some good insights that'll help you along the way in all of this. All right. So hope you had a great weekend again. Thank you to all of those that served and passed. That's what Memorial Day is all about. Personal thank you to my father, who's a Korean War vet, for the service that he put in for our country. So some obviously have paid the ultimate sacrifice. That's what happens when you join the military. Is sometimes that's what ends up being the case, and it takes a special breed to do that. So thank you, all of you folks that have spent time serving in our armed forces, and a special thank you to all the people doing essential duty now. So all those people sort of on the front lines of this pandemic endeavor. So nurses, doctors, EMS people. I mean, people working at ShopRite. So you guys are doing more than some other people are doing, and it's greatly appreciated. So again, hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Hopefully this is a good start to the remainder of this week, and fold paper.